Most people do not immediately see God's passion for the glory of God as an act of love. One reason for this is that we have absorbed the world's definition of love. It says, "You are loved when you are made much of." The main problem with this definition of love is that when you try to apply it to God's love for us, it distorts reality. God's love for us is not mainly His making much of us, but His giving us the ability to enjoy making much of Him forever. In other words, God's love for us keeps God at the center. God's love for us exalts His value and our satisfaction in it. If God's love made us central and focused on our value, it would distract us from what is most precious, namely, Himself. Love labors and suffers to enthrall us with what is infinitely and eternally satisfying, God. Therefore, God's love labors and suffers to break our bondage to the idol of self and focus our affections on the treasure of God. In a surprising way, we can see this in the story of Lazarus' sickness and death in John 11, 1-6. Notice three amazing things. Jesus chose to let Lazarus die. Verse 6, so when he heard that Lazarus was ill, he stayed 2 days longer in the place where he was. There was no hurry. His intention was not to spare the family grief, but to raise Lazarus from the dead. This is true even if Lazarus was already dead when the messengers reached Jesus. Jesus either let him die or remained longer to make plain that he was in no hurry to immediately relieve the grief. Something more was driving him. He was motivated by a passion for the glory of God, displayed in His own glorious power. In verse 4, he says, "This illness does not lead to death. It is for the glory of God, so that the Son of God may be glorified through it." Nevertheless, both the decision to let Lazarus die and the motivation to magnify God were expressions of love from Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. John shows this by the way he connected verses 5 and 6. Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. So he stayed 2 days longer in the place where he was. Oh, how many people today, even Christians, would murmur at Jesus for callously letting Lazarus die and putting him and Mary and Martha and others through the pain and misery of those days. And if people today saw that this was motivated by Jesus' desire to magnify the glory of God, how many would call this harsh or unloving? What this shows is how far above the glory of God most people value pain-free lives. For most people, love is whatever puts human value and human well-being at the center. So Jesus' behavior is unintelligible to them. But let us not tell Jesus what love is. Let us not instruct Him how He should love us and make us central. Let us learn from Jesus what love is and what our true well-being is. Love is doing whatever you need to do to help people see and savor the glory of God in Christ forever and ever. Love keeps God central because the soul was made for God.